Guys, I'm teaming up with my good friend, retired Navy SEAL Jocko Willink for something real special. Jocko started Jocko Fuel when he found out the supplements he was buying for himself and his family were filled with heavy metals and ingredients he was unaware of. He wanted a line of supplements and consumables that had all of the good, effective ingredients and none of the bad. So we made it happen. I got set up with all of the key products, and we want to do the same for you. Jocko Go energy drinks for clean, sustainable energy. Jocko Milk Protein for 30 grams of delicious grass-fed protein, plus a full line of supplements to support mood, focus, hydration, joints, and more. Jocko Fuel supplements are scientifically formulated and made with ingredients that are clinically tested. They are better for you options with no artificial flavors or sweeteners, no added sugar, and no gray area ingredients or banned substances. It's clean fuel without compromise. And right now, you can get 20% off when you use code CHAEL at jockofuel.com. Or if it's easier, just click on the link below. My phone goes off yesterday, no different than any other day. Left, right, and center, I look down at my phone and it keeps on saying Jorge Masvidal. Get different text messages, they're popping up, you know how the iPhone will do, as the kids are known to have, saying Jorge Masvidal. I even hear from Ariel himself, because I just had Jorge Masvidal on. I want to give it a look. So, I gave it a look, and I'm not sure if Jorge Masvidal has challenged me. I kept being told that. I kept being told in these, hey, Jorge Masvidal challenged you, but I didn't know if I was challenged or if I was threatened. If I was a competitive fighter, I would understand I have been challenged by a guy much littler than I, but I have been challenged nonetheless. And an equal opportunity. I didn't say you gotta be bigger. Laws of the streets, I would prefer it, but either way, if it's your idea, we'll overlook that. But because I'm not a competitive fighter, I felt that I was threatened. Either way, policy will still be applied. I will not let him get close. I cannot trust Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal will be in Miami next week, where I will be. Jorge Masvidal will be at a fight next week, where I will be. I mean, it sounds to me like we're starting to bring pieces together. Now, he will have to wave to me. I will have to send up an usher to bring him a few levels down so we can get a little bit closer to the action where I'll be seated, but we can have that chat. I will be the person in the nice trim suit with the somewhat dimmed glasses and a crowd of people onlooking. I assume he will be the thug with a hood up that I need to have my eye out for. Jorge Masvidal tried to come at me and call me a fake gangster. I have more felonies than he does, which is jailhouse talk. I wouldn't expect any of you to be impressed by that, but it means he sleeps on the bottom bunk, and he will know what that means. So Jorge Masvidal, in the process of threatening me, decides he's going to post a picture of himself outside Nate Diaz's jiu-jitsu studio in Stockton, California. Now, the fact that Nate Diaz, who is world-renowned and one of the very few who made it, from a financial standpoint, Nate Diaz will do for the rest of his life what he chooses to do with his time. It's a very special thing, and he earned it the hard way. And the fact that he lives in the same town that he grew up and graduated high school, and the fact that he leaves his house on a set schedule and goes into a gym and passes the knowledge that he earned and gained the hard way on to other curious younger people, I think it's noble. I don't have a different word to use. I think it is noble what Nate Diaz does. And George goes down, according to George. I got to take him at his word. I've known him a long time. He's never lied to me. He goes down looking for a street beef with Diaz. He shows up to the gym, which is apparently locked. He makes sure he gets photographs and then lets the world know that he's challenging Diaz. Now, there again, it comes back to my initial point. If George is challenging me, fair game. But if he's threatening me, we're having a different conversation. But I've got to apply that to Nate. Now, I would imagine had Nate opened the door, there would have been a handshake, there would have been a greeting, and Nate would have welcomed him. And I imagine that George would have, who clearly brought cameras to some degree, would have walked right on inside. But they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I gathered 1,000 words from the picture of Masvidal standing outside Nate Diaz's Jiu-Jitsu Academy. First off, he wasn't holding the phone. If I had done that and I needed some kind of documented proof, I would have to hold the phone because I would be by myself. I'm not insane. I would not show up to somebody's gym in their hometown looking for trouble with numbers. I would not have done that because I am not a coward. I would have been there by myself, and if I wanted to document it, I would have taken my phone, but there was somebody else holding the camera. That's interesting. How many other people were there with the camera? Was it a basic camera? Was it an iPhone? It didn't seem like an iPhone. As a guy that happens to know pixels, it actually looked like something called an Arri Alexa, which I believe is operated by a minimum of 2 people. I think Masvidal showed up not by himself, not even just 1 deep. I think he showed up at a minimum 3 deep. That's weird. By the way, what was he doing in Stockton? That is not a place that a guy who resides in Miami would go to. That is a very out of the way type of location. If you happen to know California, it would be like finding yourself in Lodi. There would have had to be a reason that you were there. I think that George had a reason. I think it was a photo op, and I think it was outside Nate's gym, which is very clearly and visibly marked as far as hours of operation go on something known as the internet. Now, I don't have a problem with the fact that George wanted a photo shoot, re-engineered, remanufacture the story to present to Errol. I don't have a problem with it. I just have to share for you that I've known him for a very long time. He's never lied to me. So I must take him at his word. So what is it that he wants? What is it specifically that George Masvidal would like? I can't see any reason I wouldn't give it to him. There hasn't been another time in life that George has asked me for something and I've told him no. I won't bring those receipts to you. We've scratched each other's back. It's been back and forth, but there's still not a time that I've said no. So am I being asked for something? Am I being asked for my hand? Am I being asked to meet at a certain location at a certain time? I can't imagine that I would start now by saying no to my friend. Or am I being fake threatened? Because I know Nate wasn't real threatened. I know Nate's operation hours are posted online. And I know when Nate goes in there and gives back, it's a very different situation, right? I mean, think of the skills that Nate's learned. But now think about how he learned them. Really think about that. Think about that sacrifice. Think about how he learned the skills that he's going to go and just hand to people. And then you got George Masvidal, who a lot of people would be very excited to see. He's got the hair, he's got the robe, right? When he's not pulling the hood up and doing the whole thing, people are very happy to see him. He's another guy that acquired an incredible set of skills, particularly at a jiu-jitsu gym in Stockton. I mean, this is not exactly target marketing. It is for sure the market. But when he remanufactured the story, he didn't say I went down there to kick in. I went in there to contribute. I went down there to give back. I went down there to shake hands with my old boy, Nate Diaz. He didn't say any of those things. He said he went down there looking for a fight, and I know that he brought people with him. And I know that he was wearing a sweatshirt with a hood on it, which is the very thing that he wore on his mugshot on TMZ the night that he attacked Colby Covington. I've got to take this guy at his word. So if he's looking for me, I just ask that he say, so I can be clear, a few more words.